Nothing sucks more than launching a coaching program that nobody buys. It's frustrating, confusing, demoralizing, and oftentimes you're left wondering what went wrong and how to fix it. This doesn't have to happen to you. Keep watching to learn the 7 biggest reasons coaches' programs flop and how to avoid them so you can make sure your programs are designed to sell. Hey, my name's Jason Moss. I'm a multi-6-figure business coach, and I've helped thousands of coaches around the world launch and grow their businesses. And look, having a great coaching program is one big key to success when it comes to getting clients. But there are also 3 other key pieces you've got to have in place in your business in order to attract clients consistently. So if you want to know what those 3 other key pieces are and how to make sure you've got them dialed in your business, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through all the details. You can click the link above or below to get access to that for free right now. The first big reason your coaching program may not sell is because you're trying to appeal to everyone. I see a lot of coaches, I go on their website and check out what they do, and it's like, I can help you with your relationships and your finances and your health and your career. They have this program that's like a catch-all. It's like for everyone to help with anything. It's basically for anyone who has any problem. This is for you. If this is you, if this is what you're doing, it's gonna be very difficult to sell your coaching program. And the reason is because when someone checks out what you do, they don't get a sense of this is for me. This is designed for me, for my specific challenges, my specific problems. It's just too vague and too generic. And so your messaging doesn't have the opportunity to really be able to reach across the screen and actually connect to somebody in a way that makes them feel like, wow, this is really for me. So the first big key to success when it comes to building, designing your coaching program is you have to ask yourself, number 1, who is this for? And number 2, what is the specific transformation that this program is designed to create for somebody else? As an example, I have a program called Coach and Launchpad. This is a foundations program for new coaches who want help launching their coaching business. And it walks through every single thing you need to do to go from $0 just getting started as a coach to making 8 to 10K months as a coach. This is literally the path to get there. Now notice this is not like a general business program for anyone. I only work with coaches, number 1. And number 2, this program in particular is designed for new coaches to help them get a business up and running. So it's a very clear, defined, specific transformation for a very clear, specific group of people. And as a result, if you're watching this and you're hearing this and you're thinking, wow, I'm a new coach, and I hear that and I'm like, wow, I could really use some help with that. That really sounds like it's for me. This is the key to selling coaching, right? You have to make somebody else feel like what you do and what you provide is a really good fit and is really designed for them specifically. So the biggest key to success is you've got to choose a lane. You've got to get specific on, number 1, who your people are, and number 2, what is that really clear transformation that you're offering through your coaching program. And if you're trying to appeal to everyone, if you have a program that's really designed for anyone who has any problem, it's going to be very difficult. And that's probably the number 1 reason that I see that coaches have trouble selling their coaching programs. The second reason your coaching program may not sell is because you're not selling a transformation. The reason why people buy coaching is not because they want coaching. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, you know what I really want is to spend thousands of dollars hiring a coach. I don't know anybody who says that. What people say is, I have this challenge or this problem or this desire, this thing that I want. I want to get from A to B. I want to create some kind of transformation or change in my life. I see a lot of coaches, I go on their websites and it's like you can buy individual sessions. It's like it's a 60-minute coaching session, or packages of sessions. You're selling coaching instead of a transformation. I can almost guarantee that you're going to have trouble selling your coaching programs because coaching is not what people buy. It's not what people want. Instead, we have to get clear around like, what is the real transformation that you're actually offering through your program? What is the A to B? In other words, where is somebody before they start working with you and where are they at after working with you? And getting clear about that, and also choosing one specific transformation that you're offering and being clear about that in your messaging and your copy and how you're actually framing your program and what you do is one of the biggest keys to success when it comes to selling coaching programs. If your program is not designed around a transformation, if you're just selling like one-off coaching sessions, or if it's like more of like a grab bag of all these random like techniques and practices, but there's not a clear sense when I hear about your program and what you do that it's like, okay, this is a bridge to take me from A to B, then you're gonna have trouble. And this is probably one of the other biggest reasons that I see coaches struggle to sell their programs. The third reason coaches struggle to sell their programs is because they're selling something that nobody really wants. Let's just call a spade a spade. The truth is that people buy things because they have desires. They have things that they want. in their life. We can't create desire where it doesn't exist. What we can do is we can tap into an existing desire that your ideal clients already have and create a solution or a program designed to help them get what they want. This is how you sell coaching. You sell coaching by tapping into the existing needs that already exist within the hearts and the minds of your ideal clients. If you're trying to sell something that you think the world needs, but nobody else really feels like they want, then you're gonna struggle. And I see a lot of people do this. And I've certainly done this myself. It's a very common trap that people fall into. Instead, one of the biggest keys to success is to go out and figure out what are the needs that already exist within the minds and hearts of my ideal clients, and how can I create something that fulfills those needs. Your business is an act of service. It's you going out into the world and saying, what do people want? And how can I create that? How can I facilitate that? How can I help them get that? This is why people pay you. It's really that simple. So, as an example, when I started coaching, I thought I was gonna be like an alignment coach for other business owners. I thought I was gonna help people with alignment. But when I got on market research calls and had conversations with a dozen of my ideal clients before I started coaching other coaches, and I asked them, what's your number one biggest challenge when it comes to your coaching business? Nobody told me alignment. Almost everyone said, I just need help getting clients. So I was like, okay, well, rather than me building a whole program around alignment, let me actually start by focusing on what the real problem is. I wanna help people get clients, and I wanna focus on that because that's what people want. And that's how I was able to scale really quickly to multiple six figures, is by building a program that was designed to meet the needs that my ideal clients were already expressing. So this is a big key to success. It's probably one of the biggest keys to success when it comes to building a profitable coaching business, and one of the biggest things that I see people get wrong. You have to start with, what are the needs of my ideal clients? Going out there, having those conversations, exploring and seeking to understand how they see their world, what their desires are, what their challenges are. Make sure that you're paying attention to this, and make sure that the program that you've built is designed to fulfill a need. That's probably one of the biggest keys to making sure that it's gonna sell. The fourth reason coaches often struggle to sell their programs is because they just don't have enough leads. Sometimes the problem is not your program. Sometimes your program's great. The problem is you just don't have enough people who have eyeballs on you and who are in your world and in your audience and warming up to you, enough people who are interested in what you do. And so we think it's maybe a problem with the program, but in reality, it's really a marketing problem. So the number one reason this might be an issue for you is because you're missing a growth strategy in your business. In other words, there's no consistent way that you have right now to get in front of new people in your niche and grow and build your audience. So you've got new people coming into your world on a regular basis. This is a big part of what we teach people how to do inside Coaching Launchpad. We've got a number of different strategies we teach on how to do this, and I give people feedback on how to build this out in their business. You've got to make sure that you have this in place in your business. So you've got a consistent flow of new people who don't know you coming into your world, warming up to you. We also want to make sure that you've got the right nurture strategy in place. So you're creating content that's positioning you as a likable expert with those people over time. So over time, people are going from, I have no idea who you are, to, oh wow, this person really knows their stuff and this person can really help me. If you're not doing a good enough job with those pieces, then what often happens is you don't have enough leads. That's the issue. So if that's not in place today in your business, I would definitely make sure that you prioritize that, because ultimately it's going to be one of the biggest keys to success. Number 5 is you're making it sound too complicated. People want to invest and enroll in experiences in general that are easy, that allow them to get from where they are today to where they want to be without a whole lot of pain. Now, that's not to say that coaching is always going to be easy. There's some deep work that's involved in coaching. And at the same time, oftentimes I hear coaches pitch. I'll listen to discovery calls and I'm like, oh my God, this pitch just makes me feel like this process is so much more difficult than it actually is. And you're dragging me into the weeds with all the details about how it's going to work. And it just sounds like it's just painful. It's going to be a really difficult process. And if this is the case, you might be scaring people away. So in general, when it comes to your program, number 1, asking yourself, how can I make this process simple for people? And number 2, how can I frame and present what I do in a way that doesn't overwhelm or intimidate people? I think that's a big key to success. Now, you don't want to misrepresent your program or make it sound, easier than it actually in reality is going to be. I think transparency is really important when it comes to helping somebody understand what to expect from a process. But in general, we want to frame things in a way that doesn't make it sound so overwhelming that someone's going to hear and go, okay, this is not for me. So finding that balance in terms of the program itself, how it's built and structured, as well as how it's presented. wanted. One thing that I really like doing when it comes to building out programs is if there's a way to integrate a quick win early on in the journey or process. This is often something that you can highlight on a discovery call, like, hey, within our first session, we're gonna focus on X, Y, Z, and as a result, you're gonna feel immediate relief. Your stress is gonna be reduced. You're gonna feel more in control walking out of that first session. If you can just frame and present something in that way that helps somebody see how there's gonna be a win early on in the process, oftentimes that's a great way of just gaining buy-in and making somebody excited about stepping into an experience that, is a big undertaking for a lot of people. So in general, make sure that you're aware of not making things sound too complicated and framing and presenting your program in a way that helps somebody else feel, okay, this is an accessible journey for me. This is gonna help me get from A to B in a way that's not gonna feel overwhelming, that's gonna help me get what I want, but isn't gonna be a lot of pain or isn't gonna be too much pain to be worth what I'm actually gonna be getting at the end of the day. Number 6 is your leads might not be warm enough. So sometimes the issue, again, going back to what we were talking about with lead flow earlier, isn't the program itself, but you're getting on a lot of sales calls with people and you're pitching and people just don't seem that excited about signing up. Think it might be the program, but really what's going on is the people who are getting on the phone with you aren't sold on you. Your marketing hasn't done a good enough job selling people on why they should work with you. And so you're getting on the phone with people who are just too cold. Leads aren't warm enough. And so there are lots of objections and people need to think about it and they drop off. And all of this is really rooted in the fact that people just don't feel that excited about working with you before they've gotten on that call with you. So in general, when it comes to marketing, I want my marketing to do as much of the heavy lifting as possible so that when I get on calls with people, they're pretty much ready to go. They're are familiar with my process and what I do. They've already gone through that internal journey of like, is Jason my person? And they've gotten to that place where it's like, okay, yeah, like I want to work with Jason. And then the sales call is more logistics. It's not like dragging them through the mud, trying to like convince or sell that I'm the right fit for them. They've already gotten to that place because my marketing has done a good job bringing them to that point before they get on the call. So how can you do a better job at this in your marketing? We spend a lot of time teaching people how to do this inside Coaching Launchpad. We've got a whole framework called belief-based messaging that walks through exactly how to do this in your content and social media posts, literally teaching you like exactly what you need to have in place in order to do this in your content. On a simple level, just to ask yourself, like, how can I do a better job connecting somebody to what they need to be connected to through my marketing so that by the time they get on the phone with me, they're already pretty excited about the possibility of working with me? That's a great question to ask yourself, to journal on. It'll give you some really clear distinctions and some insights that you can integrate into your marketing so that your leads are warmer. It's gonna solve a lot of sales problems. Number 7, the last reason coaches programs don't sell is because your sales process just needs some work. I see a lot of coaches who are leaving a lot of money on the table because the way that they're selling just doesn't make sense for the stage that they're currently at in their business or the program itself and the price point for that program. In general, if you're selling higher ticket programs, which I would say are above a couple $1,000s, you wanna be on the phone with people. You wanna be running people through a discovery call, which is a 45-minute to hour-long conversation where you're really diving deep with people. You're asking the right questions. You're helping position what you do in a way where it's not just like a website where somebody goes to or DM conversation or something like that, which DMs can make sense for certain businesses, but for the most part, the more intimacy you have with someone. In other words, the better job you can do at creating space for that person to feel seen and heard and understood through your sales process, the more sales you're gonna make. And you can do that over the phone better than any other medium. But until you get to a place where it's like, oh, I'm taking so many calls, like this doesn't make sense for me to do that anymore. I need to be leveraging my time better. Then DMs start to make sense and sales pages and all that stuff. In the early days of your business, I would recommend getting on the phone with as many people as possible and selling on the phone until you get to a place where that starts to break down. And then you can explore other sales processes. This is probably one of the biggest keys to increasing your close rate and signing more people up to your coaching program. So hopefully this gives you some things to think about when it comes to building your program and making sure you've got the keys in place so that it really sells. But remember, I mentioned earlier, having a great coaching program is one of 4 keys you've got to have in place in your business to make sure that you can attract clients consistently. And if you want to know what the other 3 keys to success are and how to make sure you've got them in place in your business, I put together a free client attraction guide that walks through all the details on this. This is the same framework that I've used at this point and shared with thousands of coaches to help them launch and grow their businesses. You're definitely going to want to check this out. Again, it's completely free. You can get it by clicking the link above or below, and you'll get access for free right now. Now, before you go, leave a comment down below and let me know, of the 7 things that we covered in this video, was there any of these tips or tricks that stood out to you? Anything that made you feel like, oh wow, I didn't know that before. That was a really cool insight. I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway if you want to leave a comment down below, and I'd love for you to let me know. We've got so many awesome videos coming on this channel soon, so if you're not subscribed already, would definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button down below as well. Until our next video, I believe in you. You've got so much important wisdom, knowledge, insights, healing to share with the world. So keep showing up, keep doing what you do as a coach, and I'll see you in our next video.